Elvis Aaron Presley was born January 8, 1935 and died August 16, 1977. He was known simply as Elvis. He was regarded as one of the most significant cultural icons of the 20th century. He is often referred to as the King of Rock and Roll, or simply, the King. His energized interpretations of songs and sexually provocative performance style, combined with a singularly potent mix of influences across color lines during a transformative era in race relations, led him to great success and initial controversy.
Elvis, if you think rock and roll won't diminish in popularity, what do you think sustains its popularity? What quality of it that you think makes it beloved?
Well, sir, rock and roll has been around for many years. It used to be called rhythm and blues, and as far back as I can remember, it's been very big. Although in the last 5 years it's gotten much bigger. But I personally don't think it will ever die completely out. Because they're going to have to get something mighty good to take its place as far as the young people are concerned.
What about cleaning it up or at least improving it morally and maybe taking the wiggle out of it?
Well, sir, you take the wiggle out of it, it's finished.
Have you had any incidents?
Why is that?
Well, rock and roll music, if you like it, and if you feel it, you can't help but move to it. That's what happens to me. I can't help it. I mean, I have to move around. I can't stand still. I've tried it, and I can't do it.
You don't think there's anything immoral about that?
Have you had any trouble?
Have you
had any trouble? Have your buddies given you any nickname in the service?
Quite a few.
Well, is Hound Dog one of them? Or any that you can say?
Not too much. It's usually Trooper or GI or, you know, the regular.
Did your habit of bodily movements get you into any trouble in the service, or any incidents that connected with it? Since you say you can't still, it must be pretty hard sometimes.
That's right.
No sergeants got on top of you for anything like that?
All the sergeants that I worked with were very, very nice people. And all the boys, you couldn't ask for a better group of boys to train with. And we all got along very well.
You'd say there was no advantage and no disadvantage in your being a celebrity in the service?
That's right, sir. Other than the autographs. I signed quite a few autographs, and I had a lot of pictures made with the boys on Sunday afternoon and everything.
Is your hair growing back in, Elvis, or GI cut?
It's growing out a little, but I won't be able to let it get as long as it was till I get out of the
Can we take a look at it now?
Take a look at the cap. It's not palm now. That's right. I'll do it now.
Are you planning any performances overseas for the German people or for the armed forces?
I don't know, sir. So far, I've just left the Army, you know. I've just left them decide what they...
Rock and roll should diminish in popularity or even disappear. What would you do?
Well, I would probably try acting. I mean, you know, I would try to make good as an actor, although it's a tough field to break into, acting, because you've got so much competition.
Well, tell me.
You have, besides, you've got quite a reception here, but there is quite a group of people who don't sort of approve of the thing you do. They seem to think that it contributes to juvenile delinquency and all sorts of things. Have you given any thoughts to the unpopular side of your audience?
Yes, sir, I have. I don't see, I've tried to figure it out, I don't see how they could think that it would contribute to juvenile delinquency. Someone only singing and dancing. I don't see that, because if there's anything I've tried to do, I've tried to live a straight, clean life and not set any kind of a bad example.
Elvis,
but I will say this, excuse me, sir, I will say that there are people that are going to like you and people that don't like you, regardless of what business you're in or what you do. You cannot please everyone.
Tell me this, Elvis. There have been a lot of people around the pier here who've been trying to see you, but since you've been in the Army, you've led kind of a cloistered life. Is it a relief to get away from all the autograph hounds and the hysterical females?
Sir, it is not, because
Elvis, do you still get
once you get, once you get used to it, If nobody comes up and asks for an autograph, or if no one bothers you, well, then you start worrying.
On March 24, 1958, Presley was drafted into the U.S. Army as a private at Fort Chaffee, near Fort Smith, Arkansas. His arrival was a major media event. Hundreds of people descended on Presley as he stepped from the bus. Photographers then accompanied him into the fort. Presley announced that he was looking forward to his military stint, saying that he did not want to be treated any differently from anyone else. "The Army can do anything it wants with me." Presley commenced basic training at Fort Hood, Texas. During a 2-week leave in early June, he recorded 5 songs in Nashville. In early August, his mother was diagnosed with hepatitis, and her condition rapidly worsened. Presley was granted emergency leave to visit her and arrived in Memphis on August 12. 2 days later, she died of heart failure at the age of 46. Presley was devastated and never the same. Their relationship had remained extremely close even into his adulthood. They would use baby talk with each other and Presley would address her with pet names. After training, Presley joined the 3rd Armored Division in Freiburg, Germany, on October 1. While on maneuvers, Presley was introduced to amphetamines by a sergeant. He became practically evangelical about their benefits, not only for energy but for strength and weight loss as well, and many of his friends in the outfit joined him in indulging. The Army also introduced Presley to karate, which he studied seriously, training with Jürgen Seidel. It became a lifelong interest, which he later included in his live performances. Fellow soldiers have attested to Presley's wish to be seen as an able, ordinary soldier, despite his fame, and to his generosity. He donated his army pay to charity, purchased TV sets for the base, and bought an extra set of fatigues for everyone in his outfit. While in Freiburg, Presley met 14-year-old Priscilla Beaulieu. They would eventually marry after a 7.5-year courtship. In her autobiography, Priscilla said that Presley was concerned that his 24-month spell as a GI would ruin his career. In special services, he would have been able to give musical performances and remain in touch with the public, but Parker had convinced him that to gain popular respect, he should serve his country as a regular soldier. Media reports echoed Presley's concerns about his career, but RCA producer Steve Scholes and Freddie Beanstalk of Hill and Range had carefully prepared for his 2-year hiatus. Armed with a substantial amount of unreleased material, they kept up a regular stream of successful releases. Between his induction and discharge, Presley had 10 top 40 hits, including Wear My Ring Around Your Neck, the best-selling Hard-Headed Woman, and One Night in 1958, and Now and Then There's A Fool Such As I, and the number 1, A Big Hunk O' Love, in 1959. RCA also generated 4 albums compiling old material during this period, most successfully Elvis Golden Records, 1958, which hit number 3 on the LP chart. Elvis returned to the United States on March 2, 1960, and was honorably discharged 3 days later with the rank of sergeant. The train that carried him from New Jersey to Tennessee was mobbed all the way, and Presley was called upon to appear at scheduled stops to please his fans. On the night of March 20, he entered RCA's Nashville studio to cut tracks for a new album along with a single, Stuck on You, which was rushed into release and swiftly became a number 1 hit. Another Nashville session 2 weeks later yielded a pair of his best-selling singles, the ballads, It's Now or Never, and Are You Lonesome Tonight, along with the rest of Elvis Is Back. The album features several songs described by Grail Marcus as full of Chicago blues, menace, driven by Presley's own super-mic'd acoustic guitar, brilliant playing by Scotty Moore, and demonic sax work from Boots Randolph. Elvis' singing wasn't sexy, it was pornographic. As a whole, the record conjured up the vision of a performer who could be all things, according to music historian John Robertson, a flirtatious teenage idol with a heart of gold, a tempestuous, dangerous lover, a gut-bucket blues singer, a sophisticated nightclub entertainer, a raucous rocker. Released only days after recording was complete, it reached number 2 on the album chart.
think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen. All for free. No subscription required.
More cameras gathered here today than covered the visit of President Eisenhower to West Germany. The event, the first and only news conference that the Army has permitted its best-known sergeant, Elvis Presley, to give just prior to his departure for the United States.
It's been an all-around pretty good experience, you know. I mean, I'm glad it worked out as well as it has, you know. Actually, I don't know. I hear the trend has changed, the music's changed, and actually, I don't know. I couldn't commit myself in saying that I'm going to be or that I'm not going to be. I don't know. All I can say is I'm going to try.
You have 10,000 pictures?
Yes, sir.
How many of his records do you have?
Well, just about all of them anyway.
How long does it take you to play them all through?
Let's see, about close to 6 hours. I know that.
Would you vote for Elvis for president?
I got all his pictures on my wall in my bedroom. I got thousands of it, all his records and everything. I think he's fabulous.
Fabulous?
Fabulous. He's a king.
What do you think of Elvis?
Great.
Is that all? Just great?
No, it's everything. He's a doll.
Change your style of singing at all? At the present time, I have no reason to change. You don't think rock and roll's dying, man? Some people say it is. A lot of people say it is, sir, but I'll tell you, it has changed some. The music itself has changed. It's progressed quite a bit, I think. It's better. I think it's getting better all the time, you know, because the arrangements are getting better. They're adding more instruments and, you know, so forth. It's getting better, but in 1956, when I first started out, I was hearing the same thing, that rock and roll is dead, it's dying out. I'm not saying that it won't die out because it may be dead tomorrow completely. I don't know. I wish I did know. But
not going to the station?
Not from here walking, no.
Well, why not?
Well,
You're going to disappoint all those people?
Well, let me put it this way. Would you rather disappoint 1,000 kids or hurt 2 or 3 little kids may get run over by somebody?
Okay, we're going to start at this. This is not part of the questioning, but did you get the black-eyed peas when you got home?
I haven't eaten anything yet.
Haven't eaten anything?
No. I've just been looking around more or less since I've been back.
Now, to get down to the serious side of it, Elvis, now that the Army's part of the past, can you give us in detail some of your future plans?
Well, the first thing I have to do is to cut some records. And then after that, I have the television show with Frank Sinatra. And then I have the picture with Mr. Wallace. And then after that, I have 2 for 20th Century Fox. And after that, heaven knows, I don't. I suppose it'll keep me busy the rest of this year, you know. After that, I don't know.
Well, Elvis, now you're really home. How does it feel?
Pretty hard to describe, I'll tell you. It's hard to get used to, you know. I mean, I've been looking forward to it for 2 years, and all of a sudden here it is. It's not easy to adjust to it.
Now that you are back, as you look back on your 2 years in the service, what was the most important thing that happened to you during your 2 years, whether it was overseas or here in the States?
Well, there were a number of things that happened. Had quite a few interesting experiences. Slept out in the snow, HC rations, you know, all the regular thing. But I suppose the biggest thing of all is the fact that I did make it. I made it just like everybody. I mean, I tried to play it straight, you know, like everybody else. And I made a lot of friends that I never would have made otherwise. And all in all, it's been a pretty good experience, you know.
Elvis, you still have time to serve now for Uncle Sam. Have you given any thought as to where you're going to serve your reserve training?
Well, sir, I will be on the reserve status here in Memphis at the reserve center here. But they have a clause which covers people with traveling jobs. If you have a traveling job or if you live too far away from your reserve center, they put you on standby. Whereas you don't have to make their meetings, but you are subject to be called at any emergency or anything of that nature.
Elvis, one of your future commitments, as you mentioned, is the Frank Sinatra show on the ABC television network. Do you have any idea of when this will be aired?
I really don't know the exact date. I would imagine it's somewhere around the 1st of May.
If you'll forgive me, I have one other part to my question. We understand, speaking of Frank Sinatra, that there has been some rumor about Nancy Sinatra and yourself. Is there a romance in the making here?
No, sir, I'm afraid not. I only met her in Fort Dix. And she gave me a gift from Frank. And it was very brief. I think she's engaged to Tommy Sands. I don't think he would appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Elvis, do you think the music has changed since you've been out of the service? I mean, since you've been in the service?
Possibly, yes. I can't say, really. I haven't been here long enough to even know. Excuse me. The only thing I can say is that if it has changed, well, I would be foolish not to try to change with it, you know. But as of now, I have no reason to change anything.
As to your acting, you have stated you would like to be a more serious actor. And do you plan to possibly go to some school or some dramatic school?
Well, it wouldn't hurt me any to go to school, but I learn best by experience. I never was very good in schools of any kind. And it's going to take me a long time and a lot of experience.
But that is your ultimate ambition?
But as at the present time, it really is. That's what I want to do.
Elvis, you were asked about Nancy Sinatra. How about any romance? Did you leave any heart, shall we say, in Germany?
Not any special one. There was a little girl that I was seeing quite often over there. That her father was in the Air Force, and actually they only got over there about 2 months before I left. I was seeing her, and she was at the airport when I left, and there were some pictures made of her, but it was no big romance. I mean, the stories came out, the girl he left behind, and all that. It wasn't like that. I mean, I had to be careful when I answer a question.
Elvis, in your service life, which did you find the most difficult, when you went into basic training, or when you got over into Germany, over with the experienced soldiers? Which gave you the hardest time?
Well, basic training wasn't hard for me at all. It was harder afterwards, after I had gotten into a regular outfit. Not the service itself, but just the surroundings, and I was in a strange land, and the outfit I was in, they had quite a bit of field duty. We stayed in the field 6 months out of the year. And it gets cold in Germany. It snows quite a bit. And it was pretty hard to adjust to.
One thing further on that, do you have any advice for the boys your age who are now going to have to put in a certain amount of duty in the service?
Well, the only thing I can say is to play it straight and to do your best, because you can't fight them. They've never lost yet, you know? And you can't fight them. So you can make it easier, you can make it hard on yourself. I mean, if you play it straight, get the people on your side, let them know you're trying, you as the Army would say, you've got it made. And if you're going to try to be an individual or try to be different, you're going to go through 2 years of misery.
Elvis, when do you think you'll record again? And when you do you think you'll lean toward the ballad-type music or the more upbeat sounds?
Well, as far as when I'll record, I really don't know. Possibly this week or next week. And what I'll record, I don't know yet. I've got quite a few songs to choose from. I've collected over the 2 years, but I don't know exactly what type or what instruments I'll use, whether it be the Firestone Orchestra or Monty Vonnie or what. I really don't know yet. Shoot.
You said that at the train that that you wanted to get back to what you were doing, and of course that is singing and entertaining. And I tell you from that you really enjoy what you're doing, or what you were doing before you went to service.
Oh yes, I do. In fact, that was the hardest part of the entire military service, is being away from it.
Being away from the fans.
Just being away from show business altogether. That was the hardest part of all. It wasn't the Army, it wasn't the other men. It was that. It stayed on my mind. I kept thinking about the past all the time, contemplating the future. And
Elvis,
that was the hardest part.
We know your family status has changed since you went into service. Are you going to keep Graceland? Do you have plans of moving away from Memphis? Or what?
No, sir, I have no plans for leaving Memphis.
And you're going to keep Graceland?
I'm going to keep Graceland as long as I possibly can.
Well, was this Christmas tree a surprise?
Well, since it's March, it's a little surprise. That's the tree we used in 1957.
We can leave the Christmas tree long enough. About your tonsils and the tonsillectomy that you were contemplating while you were in the service, did you deliberately ask that it be held off until you could get to the United States and the local doctor
No, sir.
Or did they improve that much?
I didn't ask that. They don't like to perform surgery of any kind in Europe. They don't like to. If it's an emergency, they will. But I took penicillin and wonder drugs or whatever they call it.
And
I got
no
okay.
recurrence.
I had 2 attacks of tonsillitis.
Elvis, did you like the food over there outside of the Army? When you would go out, you know, did you like that type of food?
I never went out.
You never ate out in a restaurant?
I never ate in a restaurant the entire time I was in Germany. It's funny. I either ate in the mess hall or at home. One of the two. I never, in fact, I never went anywhere while I was in Europe except to Paris. I went to Paris and on a leave, and that was all.
Now, how did the fans respond to you over there as compared to here in the States?
Well, it's a pretty difficult question to answer because anything I'll say, it might sound a little like I'm bragging, you know. But it was pretty much the same there as here.
They had seen a lot of your movies.
And the records and so forth. I'd like to go back on a tour over there someday, all of Europe, because the only thing they know about me is what they've read, records and the movies and so forth.
Elvis, this is not in the form of a question, but I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you home for everybody in Memphis and the South.
Oh, thank you. You'll never know how happy I am to be here. Someone asked me this morning, what did I miss about Memphis? And I said, everything.
I asked that question on the train this morning, and we used it several times. And you said anything you mentioned about Memphis that I missed that much.
Well, sir, I've been here for quite a while, about 14 or 15 years now. I pretty well know Memphis. I thought I did till I drove home.
John, if you get any more now, I'll have to start charging you.
I was glad to be able to come all the way into the station on the train for the first time.
Huh?
I to be able to come all the way to your destination on the train. You normally get over.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't. Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Escape and evasion, they call it in the Army. But, I don't know. I mean, I was hoping there'd be some, people there at the station. And I knew there'd be a lot of my friends there, my, personal friends. And I wanted to come into the station. I wouldn't have gotten off anywhere else. I mean, this time is different.
If we'd only known that yesterday.
How long do you think you will be back in Memphis recuperating or getting adjusted back to civilian life?
I would say a couple of weeks.
Okay, is that all?
Presley's name, image, and voice are recognized around the globe. He has inspired a legion of impersonators. In polls and surveys, he is recognized as one of the most important popular music artists and influential Americans. Elvis Presley is the greatest cultural force in the 20th century, said composer and conductor Leonard Bernstein. He introduced the beat to everything and he changed everything: music, language, clothes. It's a whole new social revolution. The 60s came from it. John Lennon said that nothing really affected me until Elvis. Bob Dylan described the sensation of first hearing Presley as like busting out of jail. On the 25th anniversary of Presley's death, the New York Times asserted, all the talentless impersonators and appalling black velvet paintings on display can make him seem little more than a perverse and distant memory. But before Elvis was camp, he was its opposite, a genuine cultural force. Elvis' breakthroughs are underappreciated because in this rock and roll age, his hard-rocking music and sultry style have triumphed so completely. Not only Presley's achievements but his failings as well, are seen by some cultural observers as adding to the power of his legacy, as in this description by Grail Marcus, Elvis Presley is a supreme figure in American life, one whose presence, no matter how banal or predictable, brooks no real comparisons. The cultural range of his music has expanded to the point where it includes not only the hits of the day, but also patriotic recitals, pure country gospel, and really dirty blues. Elvis has emerged as a great artist, a great rocker, a great purveyor of schlock, a great heartthrob, a great bore, a great symbol of potency, a great ham, a great nice person, and, yes, a great American.
First of all, I plead innocent of all charges.
Okay.
Thank you, dear. Love you too. Thank you. I don't know. I just made a movie of the last tour that I did. It's the first live concert that we ever filmed, so that's my next project. It's coming out.
Elvis, what made you finally decide to come out of seclusion and start making public appearances again?
I just missed it. I missed the closeness of an audience, of a live audience. So just as soon as I got out of the movie contracts, I started to do live performances again.
Why do you think you've outlasted every other entertainer from the 50s and, for that matter, the 60s as well?
I take vitamin E. I was only kidding. I don't know. I just embarrassed myself, man. I don't know, dear. I enjoy the business. I like what I'm doing.
I hear from a lot of people in the press corps that you really are a shy, humble, wonderful human being. Do you agree with that?
Oh, I don't know what makes them think that. You know, this gold belt and the... No, that's it. What are you doing? No. So am I. That's why I'm sitting down. Okay. I think it was a matter of not getting the building, the proper building. We had to wait our turn in order to.
It looks like you no longer have grease in your hair.
No, I stopped using that greasy kid stuff too. Just like everybody else did, man.
You used to be criticized so much for your long hair and your race. It seems so modest now.
Man, I was tame compared to what they do now. Are you kidding? I didn't do anything. We just jiggle, you know.
How do you feel about it? How do you feel about the way performers act on stage now compared to what you used to do and get criticized for?
Oh, I don't know. I really can't criticize anybody. In the entertainment field, I think there's room for everybody, and I hate to criticize another performer. You know.
Elvis, are you satisfied with the image you've established?
Well, the image is one thing, and a human being is another. You know. So.
How close does it come? How close does the image come to the man?
It's very hard to live up to an image. I'll put it that way. It's according to what you're talking about. I don't know. No, I don't know. I'd like to think so. beg your pardon? Well, I found that in the audiences that we have, it's mixed. It's older people, younger people, and the very young, and all types of people. I think so. Because I'm sorry. There's so many places that I haven't been yet. Like I've never played New York here. You know. I've never been to Britain either. You know. I'd like it to, yes, sir. I'd like to very much. I'd like to go to Europe. I'd like to go to Japan. And all those places. I've never been out of this country except in the service. You know.
Oh, Mr. Presley, on the subject of the service, what is your opinion of war protesters, and would you today refuse to be drafted?
Honey, I just seem to keep my own personal views about that to myself. I don't know. That's a good question. Why is that, Colonel? She said, why could they film the concert in Boston? They couldn't film it here. Oh, yeah, I'd like to do something. Okay. It's hard to find good material nowadays, you know, for everybody, for all of us, you know. It's very difficult to find any good hard rock songs. If I could find them, I would do them. You know, I really can't sit them down. No, I can't do that. I just shouldn't save it for the show.
Mr. Presley, what do you think of women's? What do you think of women's liberation?
Well, you know, watching is right. You know, on social comments like that, I just tend not to make a comment.
Some of you people that had all these figures, would you be nice to step aside and let these others take a few pictures? Please, wait, come on, step aside.
The belt is
Come on, bring your cameras over here.
The belt is an award from the.
Come on through here.
As soon as the colonel gets through talking, I'll tell you. I can't. There's a lot of them. I can't think of any right offhand.
I like to live up to my reputation of being a nice guy. This is it, folks. Beautiful, baby.
I've got to go back to rehearsal, folks. Thank you very much.
On the evening of Tuesday, August 16, 1977, Presley was scheduled to fly out of Memphis to begin another tour. That afternoon, Ginger Alden discovered him in an unresponsive state on a bathroom floor. According to her eyewitness account, Elvis looked as if his entire body had completely frozen in a seated position while using the commode and then had fallen forward, in that fixed position, directly in front of it. It was clear that, from the time whatever hit him to the moment he had landed on the floor, Elvis hadn't moved. Attempts to revive him failed, and his death was officially pronounced the next day at 3:30 p.m. at the Baptist Memorial Hospital. President Jimmy Carter issued a statement that credited Presley with having permanently changed the face of American popular culture. Thousands of people gathered outside Graceland to view the open casket. One of Presley's cousins, Billy Mann, accepted $18,000 to secretly photograph the corpse. The picture appeared on the cover of the National Enquirer's biggest-selling issue ever. Alden struck a $105,000 deal with the Enquirer for her story, but settled for less when she broke her exclusivity agreement. Presley left her nothing in his will. Presley's funeral was held at Graceland on Thursday, August 18. Outside the gates, a car plowed into a group of fans, killing 2 women and critically injuring a third. About 80,000 people lined the processional route to Forest Hill Cemetery, where Presley was buried next to his mother. Within a few weeks, Way Down topped the country and UK pop charts. Following an attempt to steal Presley's body in late August, the remains of both Presley and his mother were reburied in Graceland's Meditation Garden on October 2.
On the day he died, August 16, 1977, Elvis Presley and his entourage were preparing for yet another road trip. This tour would take Elvis to cities in the Northeast where he had tremendous success in previous visits. The night before Presley died, Dr. Nicopoulos paid a visit to Graceland and found his patient in good spirits. He was optimistic about the tour and had overcome the personal problems with his girlfriend that had bothered him for several weeks. He was simply anxious to get back on stage, the setting his closest friends said he was happiest. But there would be no tour. At the age of 42, Elvis Presley would die alone in his bathroom sometime between 8 and 2 in the afternoon. On that day, Dr. Nicopoulos was attending to his other patients in the few spare moments he had away from Elvis. Dr. Nicopoulos had passed through the gates of Graceland countless times, but on August 16th, a phone call he had made to Graceland told him this visit may be one of the last.
And I called out to find out what was going on. They told me that they wasn't sure what was going on, but he was in serious trouble and get out there as fast as I could. And when I got there, they were putting him in the ambulance. Joe told me that when he went up there that he turned Elvis over, and when he turned him over that he heard some air move, and I thought that if this was true, then there was a possibility that something may have just happened, and that we ought to try to resuscitate him. I should have realized as stiff as he was, and that he'd been dead for some time.
The world's most popular entertainer, the king of rock and roll, was dead. His personal physician was shattered.
I was really, deeply hurt.
So was a nation of fans. The headlines of the Memphis newspapers told the story. One headline reflected the reaction of most who heard the news. Graceland remains the stately mansion, resting atop a knoll on Elvis Presley Boulevard. The Elvis fans from all over America, indeed all over the world, who throng Memphis most of each year, prefer to ignore their idol's excessive behavior or to excuse it. Elvis fans by the thousands still come to Memphis. As many as 3,000 a day pass through the gates of Graceland. Presley fans are a different breed. Some even admit that the loss of a member of their own family will not be as difficult to face as was the loss of their hero. Loyalty in the extreme. But Presley fans are also somewhat myopic. They've all read the accounts of Presley's life his family and entourage worked so hard to keep from public view. But most dismiss it as unimportant, preferring to dwell on the good memories they harbor of the king.
If you want to talk about Elvis, let's say something good about him.
Everyone should think of Elvis Presley as a god, as a beautiful human being, and remember all the good that he did and not any of the bad.
I've always loved him.